Thank you, Imran. Good morning. There are plenty seats in front. Don't be shy, alright? The Malaysian crowd is very shy. Okay, are you expecting a male speaker? Because I believe you received the SMS saying that Joe Chu, Joe, J-O-E, you know? So Joe Chu is me. Okay, looks like me, but it's me, okay? I'm the president of Malaysian Institute of Geometry Sciences. I might look young in my industry because normally the feng shui master look very low, very old, isn't it? As a lady, it could be very big hairdo, thick glasses, very voluptuous. Unfortunately, I'm not. But I started very young in this industry, mid-20s, and I'm not that young anymore. So I have 13 years of experience in feng shui. Now let me do a bit of explanation to you what is Malaysian Institute of Geometry Sciences. In short, it's called MINGS. Easy to remember. MINGS is a non-profit organization doing feng shui research. That's why we do a lot of articles. We used to write a lot of articles in the Star newspaper. I'm writing together with my business partner, who is my master, Master David Kaur, the old man with mustache and beard, okay, the Sijang Good. Okay. Now, we hopefully one day Mings will be able to call all the feng shui masters in Malaysia to sit down and come up with a standard procedure to do feng shui. Do you know how many feng shui masters do we have in Malaysia? We have about 3,000 over feng shui master. Can you believe that? People in the temple that do feng shui as well. So when you go to see them, you have to ask a question, you have to think, you do feng shui in trance or off trance? If they do feng shui in trance, when they talk to you about feng shui off trance, should you believe them or not? Alright, so today I'm going to explain to you, is feng shui a scientific knowledge? Is feng shui how to do feng shui, or feng shui is hocus pocus, or feng shui is just a belief? Before I go ahead, I would like you to segregate feng shui with culture and religion. Feng shui is feng shui. It has nothing to do with culture and it has nothing to do with religion. Alright? Well, this is one of my requests. Open up your mind to listen what I'm explaining to you today. Alright, don't close your mind and put down your judgment now. Okay, feng shui is something very simple. It's just as simple as this signage that you have seen. And I've seen this signage in China. As you look at the symbol, you know that you have to watch your step. But in China, they have 4 versions of it. The first version is don't fall down. The second version is caution, drop down. Do you know what is drop down? It's a bird's drop down, okay, or something that dropped down from the high building. Number 3 is sleep and fall down carefully. The last one is the best one. Take care of your sleep. So feng shui is nothing so complicated. It's just like this signage is not complicated. Why you want to make it so complicated? Alright, feng shui originally is from this book called I Ching. I Ching. Okay, I Ching is an encyclopedia of the Chinese. We have mathematical formulas evolved from there. We have medicine coming out from there. Okay, and then we have the 7 chakra. All this is recorded and written in this book. Feng shui is part of it because feng shui comprises the knowledge of astronomy, earth energy, landform, and all this is recorded in the book. It's called I Ching. Alright, now before feng shui is called feng shui, it was called kan yu. And after that it was called qing nam. And qing wu later on only called feng shui. What is kan yu? This is kan yu. Kan yu was used during the wartime. It's a bronze man standing on a compass. What is it for? You can't ask the soldier to carry a small compass and everybody look at where is the north. By then you found out where is the north, you'll be killed already. So when they say, look at the north, everybody look at this bronze man and run to your enemy. So it was called Kanyi Feng Shui that time because the practitioner had to carry a feng shui compass to do feng shui. After it was called Kan Yu, then it was called Qing Nam. During Shang Dynasty, every industry has an attire. It's like uniform. A scholar must dress up like a scholar. Businessman must dress up like a businessman. For those that practice feng shui, they have to carry a green color sling bag, which is very fashionable now, right? The youngster carry a green color sling bag. But during those days, the feng shui master, feng shui practitioner have to carry a green color sling bag. It's called Qing Nam. Then it was called Qing Wu because they had a very famous feng shui master before like Bo Yi. It's called Qing Wu Zi. So they call it the Qing Wu knowledge. Then only after that we have the name called Feng Shui. Where does the word Feng Shui come from? How many of you know Mandarin? Okay, yes. If you are able to read this and understand this, you can be a half-baked Feng Shui master. The other half, leave it to me. Alright? Now, you look at the whole text. This is the essence of Feng Shui. And the word Feng Shui only appeared at the last sentence. The whole paragraph is talking about how does the earth energy flow and how to capture the energy. So, this gentleman is the author of that paragraph and his name is called Guo Bu. So, Guo Bu is a founder of Feng Shui, alright? The paragraph explains the earth energy flow from highland to lowland and then it bounces back when it meets different rigidity. When it bounces back, it forms a pool of homogeneous energy and that is a pool of homogeneous energy you want to capture. Therefore, everybody built houses facing the water with a highland at the back. Alright? Not with a highland in front. With the highland in front, then the energy bounces back and go in from your back door of the house. And I always refer Feng Shui to like a human being. How do you eat? You tell me. You eat from front or you eat from the back? You from front or from the back? From front. If you eat from the back, what happened? How many Hokkien here? Tell me. You know the Hokkien say something which is very rude, they call it Jasai Bang Bang. So you must remember that energy must go in from your mouth and then go out from the back. This is like a human being. So remember this. Earth energy moves from highland to lowland. It bounces back when it meets different rigidity. Now, this is a Pampo village. It was found in Xi'an. It's been there for about 2,000–3,000 years. And the houses were built according to Feng Shui principle. The highland at the back, and this is the river that is holding the village. And the houses were built facing the river. Alright, and I just came back from an ancient Feng Shui city in Sichuan. It's called Langzhou. You are very lucky to share with me because you are the first batch who will listen to my Langzhou story later. Okay. Well, as you know that I'm actually lecturing in China, Shanghai Jiaotong Daxue, and Feng Shui, the name is a taboo in China. Therefore, we have coined it and we call it environology. How many of you can pronounce it? Some of you get your tongue twisted, alright? So, the simple explanation for environology is a study that focuses on creating a balance and harmonious relationship between man and environment. It is an art of learning to understand nature, mimic nature, and live with nature harmoniously, as simple as that. If we go against nature, what happens? The weather has become erratic as well. We have a lot of landslide and we have a lot of flood. Let's come to the serious topic. all about feng shui now. In feng shui, it's very simple. We always emphasize on three types of forces. Number one is the cosmic. Second is the earth. Lastly is the human. Now, the cosmic involves the solar system, the sun and the moon, the movement of the earth. Alright? This is called sun's flare. Do you know what is a sun's flare? Sun's flare is the explosion on the surface of the sun. Alright, it happens all the time and nobody can calculate when is it going to happen. The serious one will cause a person having a temporary memory loss or even electrical trip. So sometimes for no reason, suddenly there's no electrical supply at that area for a very short period of time. So this is the effect of the sun's flare. And of course we have day and night, and then we have the 4 seasons. And do you know what happened during the full moon and the half moon? There's some peculiar phenomena happen to certain people. Have you heard of the story called Werewolf? You know, that's a story, right? It's a show. Do you know that it happens to certain people? This happened to the son of my client. Alright, my client is a well-to-do family, and the son actually was educated in overseas, and this year he's mid-30s. During normal day, he's fine. He worked in the mother's office, take phone call, you know, reply email, talk to you as normal. When it comes to the full moon day, on the day itself, the first woman he see in the morning, he will just follow that woman. Alright? So we call him the lunatic boy. It's known, everybody knows. The next day, you know, after that day, if you ask him, what have you done yesterday? He cannot remember. So do you think it's a story? Or it's actually happened? So I shared this in my talk 3 years ago during the Maxis talk. One of the audience, he related to me about his friend, the same thing. So this might happen 1 in a million people. So, like you know, you want to kena lottery also not that easy, okay? Unfortunately, he kena lottery, okay? But normal day, he's very, very smart. Nothing happened to him. So this is the effect of the solar system. And one thing, do you know a lot of feng shui masters, they are doing very well in the northern hemisphere. When they go to southern hemisphere, they met the Waterloo. Their feng shui is not working anymore in the southern hemisphere. You know why? Because the energy, the earth energy in the southern hemisphere actually is different from the northern hemisphere. It's very easy, and that is proven by this, we call the Coriolis effect. Do you play gassing? Stop. So when you look at the stop, when you pull the string, let go the stop, the gassing, the energy on the top and the bottom actually is moving in a direction manner. If you want to prove this again, go back today, go home, fill up your sink with water and then put up the stopper. See how does the water flow down. How does water flowing down in the northern hemisphere? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? In the northern hemisphere is clockwise. And then call your friend in Australia or New Zealand to fill up the sink with water, put up the stopper. How does the water flow down? Anti-clockwise. Alright? Every time I go to Australia, okay, I go to Australia every month because I'm going to lecture in the University of Western Australia. Every time I go down to Australia, the first thing I do in the toilet, very weird, okay? That's why my fiancé said, why do you spend a lot of time in the toilet? Because I want to prove it again and again. So every time I do this when I first landed in Australia, just to prove it that it is consistently like that. Alright? In the northern hemisphere is anti-clockwise, and this is called Coriolis effect. So when you want to migrate to Australia, come to see me, buy me a cup of coffee, and then I'll tell you what's the right direction for you. Alright, it's different from the northern hemisphere. And do you know why mountains are not moving in a straight line but in a meandering manner? Because as the energy travels along the way, the energy meets different sizes of pebbles and there are different minerals in the ground. Therefore, it creates different frequency every time the energy travels. That is why the mountain is in a meandering manner. This is how does the energy move, alright? It's moved in a vortex manner. We call it vortex manner. Therefore, and I always like to use this analogy, when a living snake, when it is alive, how does the snake move? In a meandering manner or straight line? In a meandering manner. When it is dead, this is a dead snake. It becomes loose already, straight. Therefore, there's a very famous feng shui saying. It says that living energy moving in a vortex manner, dead energy move in a straight line. Look at yourself. Any part of yourself is square or straight. Your teeth is actually with a round edge. Alright? Your hair is a bit crooked, not straight, alright? Except for the girls, they go to do rebonding. Your fingernail also round. Your finger is not straight, okay? There will be some curved line as well. So if you want to design something, make sure that it's a bit winding. Do you know why KL always flood? Because they have straightened the Klang River. The Klang River used to be Pengkang Pengkok, a bit winding. So once you have straightened it, there's no energy, no momentum to push the water to move faster. Alright, I'm not going to give you a science classes today. Let's talk about feng shui. So it is very good if you come to a development that have a lot of building with profile roof. Look at this. This is a famous building in China. I don't remember the name of the building. And this is how it's supposed to be built in a Mandarin. You look at the building. Alright, they're not straight. They have profile like curve. And the road is meandering as well. Can you imagine if you drive on a road which is 50 kilometers long and is straight line? Do you fall asleep? Normally you do fall asleep, right? Now, this is the one that we are having here. Right? Look at it. The road is in a meandering manner, which is very good because this is embracing the building within it. So we want all this living energy. We don't want to have straight road. And you look at this. Isn't it very nice to look at it? You feel very pleasant. The energy is in a positive flow. So generally the design, the master plan is feng shui compliance. Remember the essential, the most important point of feng shui? How does earth energy flow? From highland to lowland, and then it bounces back when it meets different rigidity. Alright? And then when the energy bounces back, it forms a pool of homogeneous energy. This is where you want to tap the energy. Okay? So, if you remember that principle, do you want to have a house on the mountain? Look at this, we call it the bowl mountain, single mountain. It's no good because not even a plant can survive on the mountain. Do you think it can survive? Alright, secondly, you're supposed to tap the energy, not contribute the energy. Therefore, having a property on a mountain top is no good. It's very cooling and your pocket also very cooling. You want the pocket to be cooling as well? No, right? Okay, now, where do you think the animal the camel want to choose to rest when they come to a sand dune? You know this is called sand dune, right? So the camel want to rest on the left or on the right? Left or right? On the right hand side. Why? Because as the wind blows from the left, the suction is created and we keep on sucking the sand the energy from the right. That is how the sand dune is formed. According to the animal instinct, they know where is a safe place. So the camel know that the right hand side is safe. When you look at a mountain, we refer these two as the arm of the mountain. You look at the mountain and then you look at the arm. You choose the piece of property over this side on the right hand side, not the left hand side. Then you'll be able to collect the good energy, you'll be enjoy the effect of the good energy. And then after that, after you have identified the arms, then you need to identify the short and the long arm. Why? The short and the long arm is very good. This is like your thumb and your index finger, because they are most powerful among the 5 fingers. And between these 2 fingers, the thumb and the index finger, which one is stronger? Sorry? The thumb is the strongest. And then along the thumb, which part is the best? Which part? This is the middle one. The center part is the best. That's why the Chinese call it the tiger mouth. 虎口. Alright. Are you familiar with Johor? The land form of Johor. Johor is having 2 arms. Alright, the most southern tips. Do you know where is Johor Lama? Now it's geography class. After the physics class, now it's geography class. Do you know where is Johor Lama? Johor Lama is still there, okay? Johor Lama is at the longer tips, the longer arm. It's just like the index finger. It's in the middle of the arm. Alright? So it was very prosperous, it was very vibrant 50 years ago. Over a period of time, people shifted to Johor Bahru. That's how the name came about, Johor Bahru. And where's Johor Bahru? Johor Bahru is exactly at the shorter arm. It's where I mentioned is about the middle of that shorter arm. Alright? So, people know that site have a very positive and vibrant energy. That's why people settle down, and since then, Johor Bahru has been doing better and better. And you look at where is Iskandar? In the longer arm or the shorter arm? It's a shorter arm. Alright? So Iskandar is another thing that you can look at it. Alright, but like our investor, what's his name? Like Faisal said, Johor is too far away and also very hot. Why not we look at something within the Klang Valley? Okay, this is what I mentioned to you. Do you want to stay on top of the mountain? No way, okay? Your pocket will be very cold. And then, remember this. Do you want the house to face the high mountain? No way, okay? It is not only no good to you because the energy is keep on moving from highland to lowland, it keep on going out. And also, this is not good for your next generation. You're working so hard, you want your children to do well, isn't it? So, do you want a house like this? Right? It is a taboo. This is not a very good landform. But if you travel along Country Height Damansara, you know where's Country Height Damansara? Oh, Damansara, not this Country Height, okay? This Country Height is very good because it's a gentle mountain. But Country Height Damansara is a mountain. The developer want to save money. They have a road in between shared by two blocks of housing, okay? 2 blocks of bungalow. The bungalow that with a high mountain at the back, very, very good. Unfortunately, the opposite one is with a low back. If you travel along Damansara, country like Damansara, you see a lot of houses like this. It's been abandoned. Halfway building, they have no money to build already. Not even moving in, not even complete. The construction is not even completed. They have no money already. Okay? The next good landform that you should look at it is the basin. What is basin? Basin is just like the center part of your palm. When you scoop water, where does the water stay? The water stays at the basin. This is where the energy is collected. In PJ, there's a very famous development. It's called Desa Park City. How many of you been there? Alright, it's surrounded by high mountain. That is why it is doing very well. But then, I did a survey for this development. This development actually have a little bit of the feature called basin, because quite far away you have a small gentle mountain to protect this development. This is exactly like Langzhong, the place I just came back from. This is called Langzhong. It's an ancient feng shui city located in Sichuan. You look at the whole landform, this is Langzhong. And this is the natural river that is surrounding and giving the energy to this city. This city has been there for 2,500 years. It has produced a prime minister, and then it is always a place that all the emperor they want to fight for it, because it is protected by the mountain around it. And now it's a 5-star tourist spot. It's been awarded by the government of China. Now, after you have studied the mountain, another thing you must look at it is the river. We always emphasize the river, the concave and the convex. Where's the concave and where's the convex? Look at your arm, your hand, alright? When you bend your hand, where my mic is called concave. On the other side is convex. Why concave is good? Because as the river bends, the energy is collected within this area, and on the other side is where the energy is being dispersed. In feng shui, we don't want to have dispersing energy. We want to have the collected energy. You know what the Malays say, the concave and the convex? The Malay called sebelah sayang. If you want to hug someone that you love, you hug them and put them within the concave. It's called sebelah sayang. If you want to fight, sebelah siku. Alright, you fight like this way. So remember, you want to be in the sebelah sayang, not sebelah siku. And then Shanghai, where is the most prosperous place in Shanghai? In the concave or in the convex? Initially, it's in the concave, alright? It's called Puxi. It's very prosperous here. Now, Pudong is coming out on the other side. Why Pudong is managed to come up? Because they have built bridges to link up the two places that transfer the energy from Puxi to Pudong. That's why Pudong is coming up. Without the bridge, Pudong will not come up. It's the same thing. If you cannot find a river, the road is considered as a river as well. Alright, look at KLCC. Have you traveled along KLCC, that road? KLCC is doing very, very well. What happened to the one that opposite to KLCC? It's called Avenue K. Well, Avenue K is not only on the convex of the road, and the river is behind the building as well. Do you think it's good? It has double sword. Have you invested in K Avenue? Okay, put your money here, not there, alright? Okay, so after KLCC, what is the building called? MCA. Alright? I'm sure you will go around today after my talk. If you travel along from KLCC all the way down, and you notice MCA actually is on the convex of the road. I know there are Chinese here, I'm Chinese too, okay? If MCA wants to resolve the internal problem, they have to move that building away. Alright? Because that is a very bad location. Okay, what about highway? If the highway which is at the level with the building is okay, elevated highway is bad because as the cars moving on the highway is pulling the energy out from the building. This is the same thing to the monorail track. Do you know Times Square? You know where is Merlion Hotel? Alright, and then you know where is Sungai Wang. Before it was built, before the monorail track was built, Merlion was still doing alright. Sungai Wang was very good. After the monorail track was built, everything started to go down dramatically. Alright, so it is not good. And don't have to worry when you see all this elevated walkway. This is elevated path for people to walk. That they are not going to have cars on it. So it doesn't give you that negative impact. But then it gives you a positive impact. You know why? Because they plant a lot of trees. In Feng Shui, we always emphasize on living energy. What are the things that can give you living energy? Besides the frog, besides the peacock feather, besides the painting and the vase. In the original Feng Shui text, we always say that living plants will give you the living energy. And crystal will give you the living energy because crystal is a natural stone. And the formation of the crystal, molecule in the crystal is according to the Fibonacci theory, the golden rule. When you put it under the heat or in the sunlight, it will be able to emit positive energy. If you put it at the right place, it enhances the good thing. Alright, if you plant the living plant at the right place, it enhances the positive things. Other than that, water feature also create living energy. So we want all this living energy, the living feature in the development. We don't want to have the statue. We don't want to have the sculpture. Those are the dead energy which give the decay energy. Those are useless. So it's good that this development have a lot of living plant, have a lot of pathway for people to walk to create the positive energy. Now, this is very interesting. Hardly have any Feng Shui master talk about it, the confluence of river. Confluence of river means that there are two rivers need to become one river. And in Malaysia, we have this identical one. Where can you find it? Masjid Jami. Alright, that mosque actually is sitting on the confluence of river. I've never been inside, but according to some of my Muslim friends, it says that the main entrance to the mosque actually is facing this round tip. This is the strongest point. This is where the energy is collected. Do you know who designed this? There are 5 highly enlightened Muslims, we call it Pak Iman, that designed this according to the Malay Feng Shui. Malay that you have Feng Shui is called Ilmu Rama, Darjah Muluk or Mirab. Maybe one day we can sit down and talk about it. And the principle and the theory they use is almost the same to Chinese Feng Shui. And they have the compass as well, but it's written in ancient Persian words. It's almost the same. It's very interesting. The Indian Feng Shui, of course, we call it Vastu Sastra. That's what Mings is doing. We do research across the 3 knowledge. Alright, now opposite of confluence of river is bad because it's dispersing the energy. This one is good, confluence of river, but not the opposite of confluence of river. Alright, now Beijing. Beijing is not as vibrant as Shanghai, but then Beijing is the capital city for China. Why? Because Beijing has 7 confluences of rivers. That's why Beijing is Beijing, and Tianjin is nearby. You look at Tianjin. Tianjin is the busiest port in the world right now. How come Tianjin cannot be the capital city for China? Because of the confluence of river. Alright, if you cannot find the confluence of river, then the road, if there are 2 roads joined to become 1 road, we call that confluence of road, is good as well. And then why mountain and river is so important? Because in the ancient text it says that 山管人丁水管财. That means the mountain determine your descendant. Water is to govern your wealth. And of course, for those who can read Chinese, maybe you can explain it to your friend beside you. It's called 报水有情，财源广进。依山有势，人丁兴旺。报水有情 that means that in the concave, you will be able to collect wealth. If there is a mountain at the back, your descendant will be doing well. What about T junction? A lot of people tell me there are a lot of ghosts having meeting at the T junction. Do you believe that? Why ghosts like to congregate at the T junction? The ghost might be sitting here or listening to my talk. The reason why, when a person hold a compass and stand at the T junction, the needle go haywire, gila babi, cannot define where there's a northeast, south, west. This is because of the momentum of the car. When the car comes to a T junction, it has to stop, right? To look at left and look at right, to turn. The car has stopped, but the energy is still moving. So the energy is moving forward and knock the house in front and bounces back. So it's forward and bounces back, forward and bounces back. Over a period of time, it forms its own pool of energy. So this pool of energy actually affects the compass. It has nothing to do with the ghost that is shaking your compass. That is the reason why the house in front of the T junction is not good, because it keeps on knocking by the car. The energy, the momentum. You might not feel it when you are sitting in the center of the house. You can go near to the wall and feel it. The wall is vibrating. That means that the energy field in the house is not stable. Don't forget, every one of us have a small compass in ourselves. If the compass is stable, we can make a good decision. If the compass is not stable, the way you decide or your temperament is not stable as well. A lot of the developers call me in to resolve this problem. I said, sorry, I can't help you. Unless you are willing to give up and make that to become a community hall or become a park, that will help. Or you can make it to become a temple or a mosque, because God doesn't need feng shui. Agree with me? So, if you want to design a house in front of T junction, it's a no-no. Next is a high tension cable. Is it good or bad? The government already said it's bad. But somehow or other, the developer wants to make money, they still build houses along the high tension cable. And what is the optimum distance from the high tension cable? There's a formula, which is the height of the high tension cable times 1.618. And that is the optimum distance that your house should be. And then odd-shaped land. The land with the funny corners like this one, is it good? This is still good. And what about this one with a smaller side? Alright, oh, this one is no good. This one is no good because you have too many funny corners. And what is the best shape? Rectangular? Yep, rectangular is good. Alright, the best is actually the front is smaller than the back. and you'll be able to collect the energy. In Feng Shui, we call it the money bag shape. It's just like a human being. No matter how skinny you are, make sure that you got a backside. Yes, alright? We call it Hao Fu. You have a good life in the later part of your life. Alright? You look at this piece of land. Actually, it's good because the entrance is from front, and the shape of the land, the front is smaller than the back. So it's almost like a money bag. Okay, so it's a good piece of property and I like it. And the elevator highway is quite far away, especially so they're planning to put their water feature in front to diffuse the negative effect. Alright, and then this is how it looked like, the internal planning, which I've gone through and I approved it. Now, homework. In this development, where do you think you want to buy the piece of land? The yellow one, is it good or bad? It's bad. What about the pink one? It's bad as well. And actually, these two is good because it's at the confluence. Alright? And then what about this side? Good. Unless the entrance is here. If the entrance is here, that is in the convex of the road. Alright? Now, the shape of the building also play an important factor because the shape of the building represents the energy of it. Alright? The shape emits the energy of it. These two buildings actually are found in Beijing. I was called in by my client. It was developed by a honky, designed by one architect. I don't know why they designed such thing. This building actually is opposite and right. You know the sharp corner is right in the middle of the building. Alright, and look at this building. It's like a broken piece of meat. Unfortunately, my client is having an office inside here. That's why he called me in, need help. So I went in, I looked at it, I say I can't help you because basically I cannot change the shape of the building. Alright? The only thing I can do is I give a temporary solution. For long term, you have to move out. And after a while, he updated me from time to time. He said a lot of tenants were not doing well and then they move out from the place. So if you want to design building, be careful. Do you know the shape of Genting Highland? The main building, what does it look like? You never studied that. Okay? Casino, okay. Genting Highland, the main building looked like a bat. You know bat? Alright? Bat have one opening, that is the mouth. Alright? He eats from the mouth, he shits from the mouth. So you go in as the food of the bat, and you come out as the shit of the bat. So that is actually he get someone to design that for them. It's done by purpose. Alright, it's done by purpose. Okay, just like long time ago that this rich man, he wanted to open a casino. So he went to look for a Feng Shui master. Unfortunately, it was not me. So the Feng Shui master advised him to build that building like a crab. Then he said, why must I build it like a crab? You know how does crab walk? Crab walk sideways, okay? So gasak everything. You sweep everything. Yes, good idea. So he went back, the rich man went back and built the casino like a crab. A year later, he went almost bankrupt. So he decided to go back to see the Feng Shui master. He said, hey, master, you know the Feng Shui advice you give it to me, it's not working, you know. Every day I lose money to my client. How can it be? Then the Feng Shui master said, no way. Because all my clients, they are doing better and better. They bought me expensive gift. They come to pick me up with big cars. How come yours is not doing well? never mind, we go to have a look. So they went to have a look. Before they reached the building, the feng shui master saw a big red crab. When does the crab turn red? Tell me. Do you cook? The crab is already cooked. It's already dead. Therefore, it's not doing well. So the shape and the color also play an important part in feng shui. So when you want to apply color, you got to be careful, alright? So lastly, thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes for Q&A session. If you want to ask Prof any questions, now is the time to do it.
The Malaysian is very shy. After I sit down and I walk out, then people come to ask me questions. It's alright, open the floor to share.
Sure. Prof, what do you think of Decentrum?
Now, Decentrum is good because, like I mentioned just now, they have the entrance from front, the north-south highway, because the front part is smaller than the back part. So the shape itself, the landform itself is very good. And then they have Gentle Mountain in front, quite far away, which means that the river is in front. Whenever you see a mountain, there's a river. And then if you drive along this area, you see actually highland is at the back of this land as well. So that is a good thing, number one. The natural landform is a plus point already. Number two is that the internal layout, they make the building to have profile. When you make that, you don't have a curved line, the energy is automatically moved in a vortex manner. And then the third point is they put in a lot of plants, and also they put in a lot of water feature. Those are able to produce living energy. Okay, and then if you want to look at the building itself, because the final plan, I think the final plan is not out yet, but generally this is good. The natural landform has produced that plus point. Next question. No question?
I think Prof, they will definitely ask you questions once you are alone. Okay, thank you, Prof, for that very interesting and knowledgeable talk on the history of feng shui and as well as some of the key principles. Okay, now I would like to invite our last speaker from Ho Chin Soon. But Mr. Ho Chin Soon is not here today, but we have the son of Ho Chin Soon, Mr. Ishmael Ho, who will be giving his presentation on the map and the growth corridors of Greater Kuala Lumpur.